In this video we take a look at prehistoric animals that are said to still be walking the earth in various remote places. Gazeka, also called the devil pig, was said to resemble a tapir or giant sloth. It had a long snout and some theories suggest that it may be the descendant of an extinct marsupial. An English traveller named K.A.W. Mockton went to the west of the British New Guinea. Mount Albert Edward discovered the giant footprints and other signs of a giant monster. It was said to have cloven hoofs and roamed grassy plains surrounding the lake on the slopes at an altitude of 3,800 meters. According to the story, which does not appear in Mockton's own memoirs, the explorer supposedly discovered the monster attacking a village and opened fire on it. The huge Gazeka turned on him. As it reared upon its hind legs and pawed the air, it looked to the hunter as big as a house, standing fully 25 feet high. During a second expedition, Dr. Lawrence walked the snowy mountains when one of his members came across a huge animal at an altitude of 2,100 meters. It's now believed that no animals resembling a tapir lived in those places. The moment you hear it, all your hairs stand on end. This is what Manuel de Santos said of his supposed encounter with the South American cryptid known as Mapinguari. According to a Discover magazine article, the Brazilian was hunting in the Amazon when a blood-curdling scream echoed around the forest. De Santos, an experienced hunter, immediately ran and hid in a river. He heard the call 4 more times as the creature moved away. While some have likened the creature to a South American Bigfoot, it's also been described as an enormous sloth-like creature with large curved claws and reddish fur. This has led cryptozoologists to speculate the myths actually refer to a surviving species of ground sloth, a group of gigantic bear-like creatures believed to have gone extinct around 5,000 years ago. In 1994, scholar of the Amazon David Oren set out to track the creature in the rainforest of western Brazil, collecting over 100 eyewitness accounts of the creature. Unfortunately, Oren's expedition was largely unsuccessful, coming away with only some casts of footprints, a clump of fur and fecal matter that was later identified as belonging to a giant anteater. Located in Africa's Great Rift Valley, Lake Victoria is the world's largest tropical lake at 26,500 square miles. With a maximum depth of 276 feet and an average depth of 131 feet, Lake Victoria is relatively shallow for its size. The lake is also relatively young. Its current basin formed only 400,000 years ago when westward flowing rivers were dammed by a large section of the Earth's crust being thrust upward. Core samples taken from the lake bottom show that Lake Victoria has completely dried up 3 times since its formation. Scientists speculate that these drying cycles were most likely the result of past ice ages. Lake Victoria dried out approximately 17,300 years ago, and filled again sometime around 14,700 years ago, a fact that causes some to question the existence of a monster which has been reported to live in the lake for centuries. Known to the locals as Lukwata, this carnivorous predator was first brought to international attention when Sir Clement Hill, his wife and good friend T. Cox reportedly witnessed the creature while exploring near Mount Homer. Hill reported that a monster rose up from the lake. It was the natives' cries for help which alerted Sir Clement to the scene. Hill's description, though vague, noted the creature's long neck and small head. The natives called it Lukwata. The creature is described as having a square-shaped head and a body that resembles a dolphin, with a brownish skin pigment and white underbelly. There are numerous Lake Victoria natives who believe the creature is a gigantic 12-foot-long catfish, despite sightings which include the appearance of an elongated neck. The belief that a giant catfish could be the identity of the creature is somewhat backed up by the fact that catfish are found in almost every body of water in the world, and can grow to some amazing lengths. Some species can get as big as 10 feet or more and weigh upwards of 800 pounds. Catfish are bottom feeders, and the sheer size of Lake Victoria could support the dietary needs of the gigantic catfish. Although no one really knows what is lurking in the waters of Lake Victoria, investigators into the phenomena haven't ruled out the existence of a prehistoric relic, the usual suspect in lake monster cases due to the age of the lake. Other theories that have been suggested range from a giant freshwater eel to a gigantic 100-foot-long anaconda. What we are left with is a handful of theories with no scientific evidence to support any of them, leaving the imagination free to wonder just what is living in the vast expanses of the world's largest tropical freshwater lake. The Queensland Tiger is a German Shepherd-sized striped cat-like marsupial reportedly living in the Queensland rainforest of Australia. Known to the Aborigines for many centuries and first brought to the attention of European Australians in the 1870s, the Queensland Tiger experienced a flurry of sightings during the 1940s and 1950s. Eyewitnesses all gave similar reports of a striped tiger-like animal. Expeditions mounted in search of the creature came back empty-handed. A more recent theory proposed is that the Queensland Tiger never really existed. It's theorised the sightings of the Queensland Tiger was the misidentification of thylacine, also known as the Tasmanian Tiger. There are holes in the thylacine theory though. Firstly, there is at least one Australian cave painting that seems to depict a large striped cat-like animal which does not appear to be a thylacine. Secondly, most eyewitness reports of the Queensland Tiger are vague, and could well have been a sighting of the thylacine. However, there are a few that seem to describe a creature which could not have been a thylacine. Thirdly, the idea that Queensland tigers are actually specimens of thylacine would require us to accept that the thylacine, which officially went extinct on the mainland over 2,300 years ago, has survived undetected to present day. To this day, the mystery of the Queensland Tiger remains unsolved. The creature is either a mainland sighting of the extinct thylacine or a population of marsupial cats known from fossil records, and believed to have gone extinct over 10,000 years ago. On September 25, 2001, a 19-year-old driving along Pennsylvania's Route 119 recorded what he describes as flags flapping in a thunderstorm. When he looked up, he was astounded to see what looked like a bird with a 3 to 4 meter wingspan and a strange elongated head flying above him. Over the next few months, 2 more witnesses would encounter similar creatures in Pennsylvania. The reports were reminiscent of a string of sightings that took place in Texas in 1976 and 1982. In all cases, the creature described sounded remarkably similar to a pterosaur. The sightings in Texas even occurred near to where the fossil of Quetzalcoatlus, a large pterosaur of the late Cretaceous period, was first discovered. Interestingly, these pterosaur sightings seem to occur close to each other in waves. That suggests that people were really seeing something, but there may be a creature responsible. One obvious candidate is the frigate bird, whose grey feathers can look like leathery skin from the right distance, and whose wingspan can reach up to 3 meters. The frigate bird hardly ever lands except to tend its young, and can soar over long distances. So that was 5 mysterious prehistoric cryptid sightings. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more countdown videos.